Caitlin Clark got robbed of the WNBA All-Star MVP in Chicago, and it wasn't by accident. Somebody in the WNBA office made a call right before tip-off that changed her entire scoring ceiling, and we're going to show you exactly how. But that's only half of it, because Paige Bueckers and Angel Reese did something during that same weekend that fans are calling flat-out disrespectful. Stick around, because by the end you'll know both stories, and you'll know exactly what Clark said during the All-Star game when she finally had enough. Show your love for Caitlin in the comments below and tell us why she deserves the MVP.
You going for MVP now? I'm just gonna keep going.
While every other All-Star was posting selfies from parties in Chicago, where was Caitlin Clark on Thursday and Friday night? Not at a club, not on a rooftop with a cocktail in her hand. She was running from one appearance to the next because that's what her All-Star weekend actually looked like. All-Star weekend is supposed to be the reward. Players fly in, they do a few photo ops, they hit some parties, and they let the league throw a party in their honor for a season of hard work. That's the deal most of them signed up for, and honestly, nobody would blame them for taking it easy for once. But Clark's schedule didn't read like a vacation. It read like a full workday stacked on top of another full workday, back to back, with barely any room to breathe.
With the sharpshooter that is taking part.
She showed up for State Farm activations. She showed up for Wilson events. She showed up for Nike, and that one came with a real headline of its own, the debut of a new colorway for her signature Nike Caitlin 1 shoe. Think about what that means for a second. Most players in that locker room don't have a signature shoe at all, and Clark's out there doing press for a new colorway of hers in the middle of a weekend everyone else is treating like a break. On top of the sponsor work, she's stacked in charity appearances and fan meet and greets, event after event, smiling for every single one. Now compare that to the rest of the field. Look at the headlines from that same weekend, and you'll notice something. Other All-Stars got covered for their outfits, for their party appearances, for whatever fit they wore courtside. Community work? Barely a mention. It's not that those players did nothing, it's that the attention just wasn't pointed at them the way it was pointed at Clark. And that gap says a lot about who the league and its fans are actually watching. And the fans proved it in the most direct way possible. They waited. Lines formed hours before some of these meet and greets just so people could get 30 seconds with her, maybe a photo, maybe a signature, and then they'd walk away happy. Ticket resale prices for the All-Star game jumped from around $71 last year, when Clark didn't play due to injury, to $343 now that she's playing again just to get in the door this time. That's not the market reacting to the league as a whole. That's the market reacting to one player, and everyone in that building knew it.
You always remember why you play the game. Like, I play it because I love it, and I haven't lost that joy, and I haven't lost that love of the game that I had when I first got here.
I do have a gift for all. Something besides that. Sure, don't worry, I'm gonna get everybody else to pair my shoes too. I just don't have that, so. Pretty cool. Thank you.
Here's what makes this heavier than it sounds. Clark isn't some role player who can afford to coast through a weekend of appearances. She's already the most watched, most scrutinized player in the entire sport, with cameras tracking her every move, and she still said yes to every single request stacked on her calendar. This wasn't instead of her game prep, this was on top of it. She's out there doing meet and greets Friday night and then expected to bring the same competitive edge Saturday night that made her the reason ticket prices tripled in the first place.
Let me know if you're coming up. These are cute!
My long-term goal is obviously to inspire people all over the world. I mean, I feel like we're just beginning to scratch the surface.
So picture where that leaves her walking into the actual game. Exhausted from a weekend of carrying the league's business on her back, doing the work nobody forced her to do, showing up for every fan who waited in those lines. And on the other side of that effort, the WNBA had something waiting for her that nobody saw coming. A decision made behind closed doors that would change the entire shape of the game she was about to play.
A record-setting scorer and one of the game's premier facilitators makes her third All-Star appearance from the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark! This Dallas wing is...
Look at the box score and it seems quiet. 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds in just 21 minutes. On paper, that's a solid line for a bench player having a nice afternoon. It is not what you'd expect from the reason ticket prices tripled and the reason the building sold out in the first place. So the number lies to you if you stop there, because it hides everything about how those points came and what she did without the ball too.
Marcus talked about being excited to play with Olivia Miles as Clark puts in the first points of tonight's All-Star game. And here is Clark. Clark pulling and hitting on a deep. Players going up against each other. Howard having an incredible year for the Lynx. Clark again on a bomb. Here's Clark. Will she try again? You bet! Caitlin Clark with 3 logo bombs within the first 3 minutes.
From the opening minutes, Clark set the tone. She jumped a passing lane for a steal in the first quarter and took it the other way herself, no hesitation. Then she pulled up from logo range like it was a layup, drilling threes from a distance that would make most players think twice about even attempting the shot. That aggressive push early got Team Spoon moving, playing fast, playing loose, and it dragged the pace of the whole game up with her. She wasn't just scoring, she was setting the terms for how the game would get played. And on defense, where basically nobody bothers in an All-Star game, Clark actually competed. She contested shots, she got a hand in passing lanes, she fought through screens like it mattered. In a game where most players jog back and let the highlight reel handle itself, that kind of effort stands out fast, and it's exactly the kind of thing fans point to when they say she plays the game the right way.
With the steal. 1-point Team Spoon lead. Clark connects on the 3. 4-3 of the half. Asia Wilson getting the and then saying, hey, I wasn't even trying to there. Asia Wilson and Angel Reese hugging loud. How excited they were to play together here in the All-Star game as Wilson flicks it in off the feet. Backing away, firing a deep 3 and hitting.
Now put that next to Jonquel Jones, who walked away with the MVP trophy. Jones dropped 22 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, and handed out 8 assists. And on top of that, she made history, becoming the first player ever to win MVP for the league, the Commissioner's Cup, the Finals, and the All-Star Game. That's a real resume, and nobody's saying she didn't play well. The box score gave her the trophy, plain and simple. More points, more boards, more dimes across the stat sheet.
How are we feeling going into the game? I know there's no 4-point line this year, so things maybe are looking a little different.
Things have not started off very well.
Yeah, I didn't even know that until now.
Took it away.
What are we going to shoot?
I don't know what we're going to do all night.
You can still shoot from 4-point range.
Yeah.
You can.
I don't know.
You're not rewarded for it.
Yeah.
But here's where the story gets complicated. Clark hit 5 threes that night, and she was doing it from 4-point range, because the WNBA had installed an actual 4-point line for the All-Star game a stripe further out than the normal arc just for this event. It rewarded exactly the kind of range Clark has built her whole game around. Except that line got scrapped right before tip-off, pulled with almost no explanation to the players or the media covering the game. Do the math on that for a second. Several of her 5 threes came from beyond that 4-point stripe based on where she was pulling up from all night. If the line had stayed in place, those shots count for 4 points instead of 3, and her 17 suddenly turns into something in the low 20s, maybe enough to lead Team Spoon outright.
Clark on the drive, backs it away, wants Jones, finds her. Jones a 3 is good. Jonquil. Here's Clark. Whips it underneath. Area Finn will lay it in. Here's Clark. Back to Jones. Jones rumbling in. Will lay it in.
Think about the timing of that decision. Production panels were already set. Uniforms were already printed. Graphics packages were already built around a 4-point line that had been advertised for weeks. And then, right as the one player most built to exploit that line steps onto the court, the league pulls it back without a real explanation to anyone. If that line stays up, Clark likely finishes as the high scorer on the winning team, and the MVP conversation looks completely different heading into the vote. So why would the league make that call right before the actual event, after everything was already locked in? Let me know down in the comments your thoughts why, and drop a like. Reporters went down the line at Media Day asking one simple question. Who do you think can break the WNBA scoring record? Same question, all-star after all-star, mic in their face, camera rolling. And one name kept not showing up in the answers, over and over, like everyone in that room agreed to skip right past it. Just 7 days before this exact there, impossible to miss.
Moreno tied the WNBA scoring record with 53 points in a game. Which current player do you think is going to break that record?
I'm gonna have to go with Nafisa or Asia.
We have so many great players in this league. It really feels like anyone, any night could break that. I mean, Marina could break her own record. Like, there's so many potentials, I don't even know if I could name one.
I could see Asia breaking that. Asia, I mean, she's tied also with 53. She's incredible. I think she'll break it definitely, eventually.
I'd probably say Asia Wilson.
Shoot, I'm gonna go Asia again. She's gonna re-break it because she's just that good, that efficient. She's already done it once, so she knows what it feels like. So yeah, I'm gonna go Asia.
And yet Paige Bueckers got asked, and her answer skipped right past Clark. Angel Reese got asked too, same result. No mention of the player who just put up 45 and 10 against Seattle. Both of them found
And then it just felt like women's basketball just took the world by storm, and rightfully so. So I'm not, and I felt bad because I felt like jealous in a way, and I felt like envious, and I've never been that type of person where I don't want other people to succeed. Like, I want everyone around me to succeed, like, more than I want myself to succeed.
Now put that next to how other players in the league talk about Clark. Sophie Cunningham has stood up for her in interview after interview, calling out the cheap shots and dirty plays Clark's taken from opponents all season. Lexi Hull plays right next to her every night and talks about her like a teammate who's earned respect on the floor. Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell have both credited her game and players who can't bring themselves to say her name out loud. Then Barack Obama showed up on the floor, and the whole tone of the room changed in about 10 seconds. He walked past multiple All-Stars, guys and cameras trailing him the whole way, and he went straight to Clark. No stopping to chat with anyone else first, no split attention, no pretending it was a group visit. Straight to her, like there was only one player on that floor worth walking over for.
Oh, hey, Caitlin, how are you? Really nice to meet you. You're great. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
Don't let all this nonsense get you down. Yeah, you know, I always say one of the things that was luckiest for me was I didn't get famous till I was like 45. So I was an old man. I mean, you're my daughter's age. They're not to have that much, burden and nonsense.
Fans watching live caught every second of it, and that's exactly why it landed so hard. Nobody choreographed that moment. He made his own call in real time, in front of cameras, in front of players who'd spent the whole weekend dodging her name in interviews. And the contrast between that and the silence from Bueckers and Reese couldn't have lined up any worse for them. So the silence wasn't nothing. It wasn't nerves, it wasn't a slip, it wasn't players just forgetting a name that broke a scoring record 7 days earlier. It reads like a refusal, because when the cameras finally turned to Clark herself after the game, she didn't let the moment pass quietly either.
So don't lose that joy. The game's like the game. And you're a hooper. And you
I try, sometimes.
You know, no, you always hoop. And you're on a nice little run right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You mind if I get a picture?
Yeah, come on.
Ready?
Come on.
So cute. Wait, guys, get in with me too.
Come on.
Nice to meet you.
Come on.
Fans waited all weekend for Clark to just say it, and at halftime, she finally did. Cameras closed in, ESPN had a mic in her face, SiriusXM had another one right behind it, and the question landed on the level of competition out there. No dodging, no soft answer, no playing it safe for the cameras. She looked at the question straight on and gave an answer that turned the whole weekend into something bigger than a rules controversy. She called out the lazy effort from some of her fellow All-Stars, plain and simple, no code words. And then she used a word that stuck: scamming. That's what she said happened to the fans who paid to watch this game. Real money, real time, real effort, just to get in the building.
I'm going to you next because you set the tone right out of the gate. You came out firing and kind of
Pick it up. I think we should pick it up more. Come on, let's play a little bit.
Play a little bit. I like it. It has set a different tone. Why did you want to do that?
I mean, I think these fans, like, they pay a lot of money to get in the door. Like, let's not just walk around. Like, we don't need to go 100%, but like, let's pick it up and have some fun for them.
Think about what that word actually covers. Fans bought tickets that jumped from around $70 to over $300 just for the chance to see this game live. They took time off work to make the trip. They brought their kids, bought the jerseys, waited in those long lines all weekend for a photo or an autograph. And then some players jogged through the game like it was a scrimmage nobody was watching. Like the effort didn't matter because the score doesn't count for anything in the standings. Clark's point was simple: the score might not count, but the money in those fans' pockets was real, and so was the time they gave up to be there. Compare that to how she played the exact same game. She dove for loose balls in an exhibition. She sprinted back on defense when nobody else bothered to get below the free throw line. Full speed, every possession, in a game where the standard move is to jog it out and save your legs for the games that count. That gap between her effort and the effort around her is exactly what she was pointing at when the mics showed up. She didn't stop there either. In a separate moment with Malika Andrews, Clark got asked about the criticism she's taken all year.
Caitlin Clark, and Dominique Malonga, get up here, both of you. 5 threes to start this game. You really set the tone. Your team wanted to win. Why was it so important to you? This is supposed to be fun, but you guys were super competitive.
I think we just wanted to put on a show for all the fans, so I thought we wanted to make it fun. We appreciate everybody coming out. It was a fun time. Chicago put on a great All-Star, so we're just thankful for all these people that showed up.
None of this came out of nowhere. Line it up with everything else from that weekend. The charity stops, the meet and greets, the sponsor events, the full effort on the court even after a schedule that would have worn anyone down. She'd already proven what she thinks she owes the fans. And at halftime, she just said the quiet part out loud, that she expects her peers to bring the same thing. Fans online didn't need to think twice about which side they were on. Clips of her comments spread fast, and the reaction leaned hard in her direction, with plenty of fans turning even harder on the players who'd spent the weekend dodging her name in interviews and coasting through the game itself. The math wasn't complicated for anyone watching. One player worked the whole weekend and then competed like it mattered, and a handful of others treated the whole thing like a paid vacation. That's the moment that reframes everything from Thursday to Saturday. Not just a rules change that cost her a shot at MVP, not just a room full of players who wouldn't say her name. A player standing at halftime, saying flat out what the league owes the people who show up and pay for it. Line it all up and the contrast writes itself. Clark spent her weekend running from charity stops to sponsor booths to fan lines, then walked into a game where the league pulled the 4-point line and her own peers wouldn't say her name. Now look at Indiana. Clark, Cunningham, Hull, Boston, and Mitchell are building something real, while the jealousy plays out everywhere else. This is why people show up for Clark. Effort, honesty, respect for the game. Show your love for Caitlin in the comments below and tell us why she deserves the MVP. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications as we're bringing you all the action and top stories. Click the video on the screen and we'll see you in the next one.